Alright, so I'm back working on this junk again. Not on vacation anymore, so I gotta work on it in the evenings, which is not ideal. But the last time I messed with it, it had a bad solenoid. I took that one out of the group, got everything to work. Everything does work, but the front pump motor shooting out a lot of sparks, so I'm gonna take it apart and try to clean it, see what's going on with it. Maybe have to buy a new one, but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and get these chargers that I got hooked up, and I'll show you what I'm working with there. All right, so what I have is I actually got two of these Noco Genius 5x3, so it's 5 amps by 3 12-volt batteries. So there's one. I got the other one here. I haven't opened it yet. But the plan is to leave them wired in series, but have these, basically it's got 3 leads, one for each battery. Leave those hooked up all the time, because these are, what does it say? It's an onboard battery charger. They're made for like boats and stuff, but apparently they're like vibration proof, waterproof, stuff like that, so they can stay out in the elements. I'm not gonna like permanently mount them in here because this isn't where I'm gonna keep them. I actually bought these for when I do the hydraulics on the Cadillac, but if it's, this will be a way for me to test out if it's gonna work or not. So I might, depending on how much room I have, I might actually just mount it on my tie downs. But that's another thing I gotta do. I gotta put my tie downs on. Maybe just mount it on my tie downs up here. Just like self tappers or something. And keep it there, so that way it's up front and center. Run all these and try to hide the wires as much as possible. But or like tuck them around. But then I can see, it'll show the state of charge basically for each of them. And how that's going. So I guess I can do that for both sides. But like I said, the plan is to have both of those hooked up. And then there's this, it's like a 2-way splitter. So instead of having drag out like an extension cord and a, what's it called? I don't know, I can't speak right now, but a surge protector, like outlet strip. This basically just, you can plug both of those into here, and then it actually comes with a mountable outlet, so that way you can plug into it. Let's see if I can get this thing open. So the idea would be to run the power cable, where's it at? Oh, right here. The power cable from each of the chargers into these guys, and then have this that has a cap, and mount it somewhere where it's like super easy to get to. Like on here, I might just mount it down here, so that way all I have to do is pop the trunk and run like one extension cord in and just plug it in, and it'll run both chargers. And they're also like maintainers, so I don't have to worry about hooking batteries up or hooking a charger up or worrying about if it's overcharging. So if that works out how I want it to, it'll be dope. If not, I wasted a bunch of money, so we'll see. All right, so I got the chargers hooked up to all the batteries, positive to positive, etc. And then you can see down here, it shows the status of each of the batteries. They're all showing as fully charged because, they're brand new batteries and I barely hit the switches. They're all on just regular 12-volt mode, not they're not AGMs or lithium ion or anything like that. So just basic chemistry batteries. So those 3 are hooked up to this charger. These 3 are hooked up to this charger. They just charge at 12 volts each. and then both of these plug into, I don't know if you can see it. There's a, let me get a flashlight. There's a, I guess charge port you would call it maybe, and then they're both plugged. Both of the chargers are plugged into that, so that way all I have to do run a extension cord in here, plug it in there, and it's even got a little plug to keep stuff from getting into it. I just used one of the self tappers to put it there for now, since it's just temporary. I still have to mount the chargers. They have a slot in each side, so I'm just gonna make a little quick mount to sit where they are now. And after that's done, well, like probably before I make the mounts, I'm going to put the hold downs on. I just went ahead and cleaned them up a little bit and did like a really quick and dirty paint job, because they were all, you know, rusty and chipping and stuff like that. So those will go back on here. Then I'll finalize the mounting of the chargers. I don't plan on driving it anytime soon. Just trying to get everything sorted, and I didn't want the batteries just sitting in here not being maintained, because these chargers also can be hooked up indefinitely and like serve as a maintainer. So happy with it so far. Hopefully it'll help the batteries last a long time and stay topped off, so we shall see. All right, we're back at it. Gonna take this front pump motor off and see if we can clean it up or what needs to be done. Before I buy the spray and stuff, I'm gonna take a look at it first. So dang. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna take that off and take a look and see what's the matter with it before I buy anything. I was gonna put these tie downs on, but I don't have any washers to like protect the paint, and I can't go to the store, so probably not today then. All right, so I got this motor off, and it's what I kind of expected to see. It looks like at least a little bit of oil might have gotten down into it or something from sitting for as long as it did. So I'm gonna pull it apart and see what's up. Seiko. I'm gonna check the other side of the block too, see what it looks like. Here's the back side of that block. It looks like some oil must have been getting past that seal. I mean, it's not a lot. So what I think I'm gonna do is clean all this up and clean the motor up, and then just keep an eye on it. Could have very well been from when the piston pump itself was pressurized and pushed it through there, but we'll see. I'm just gonna clean it up and see if that helps for now. So I just mentioned it a second ago, but this is actually a Black Magic. It's an old school piston pump. So it's got like a Schrader valve here, and then it's got a piston that is between here and the oil. And then when this is pressurized, it pushes the oil through the pump head. So when it's not pressurized, it's basically just a regular pump, but you can pressurize it for better performance. But that could have been what pushed that past there. I don't usually keep any pressure on it because I honestly don't hop as much as I used to, but we'll see what happens. All right, so I got this end cap off, and it looks like the bearing still spins smooth. But if you look in here, get some light. Looks like it's been arcing out. So what I'm gonna do is get some contact cleaner, because the brushes still look like, you know, they got life. Oh, they look like they got life to them, at least a little bit. So I'm gonna pull it apart and then hit everything with the emery cloth and contact cleaner and see See if I can get it to last a little bit longer. Need to get some new bolts and washers for this thing, for the tie downs. Old ones are just crusty and I don't want to reuse them. Then I'll see if this thing will still three-wheel. Looks like it's still got one of the chains hooked up, so I'll be able to hopefully three-wheel the driver's side in the air, but we'll see. Yeah, she's running. She's ugly. Still needs to be cleaned up. A lot of surface rust from being parked on the grass. That thing's not leaking. It is burning off a bunch of that oil though that has leaked out. But and beyond that, I think if I get it on some concrete and leave it there, it should slow down some and tackle some of this surface rust. And a lot of this stuff will be easy to clean up. This stuff right here is where it needs help from Jesus. Well, I guess I lied before. This motor's no good. It looks like at some point this spring right here came off. So you can see the spring like that. Each of these is supposed to have one of those on it. That spring came off. And like you can see basically all this arced out also. So I'm just gonna order a new motor. Damn it, man. So I picked up a new but poorly stored Seiko heavy duty motor from a buddy of mine that used to have a shop but closed it down. It's got some parts in a storage container, so hit him up. Got that pretty cheap. Also picked up another 8X from him. It's slightly more used, but it was for the right price. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually clean off this back side of the block in there, and I'm gonna put the new motor on without the key. So this way it'll free spin, and I'm going to, I was going to hook it up on 12 volts while it's in there, but now I'm trying to think if I even have enough wire to be able to reach from here all the way over there, and I don't think I do. So what I might end up doing is, I didn't really want to do it, I'm going to put the bolts back into the motor, these guys, to hold it together, and then grab a welding glove in case it gets hot, and then just grab a pair of jumper cables and break this thing in at 12 volts and then 24 volts for a couple of seconds, and hopefully that should be fine. We shall see. Alright, so everything I just said was a lie. I'm not going to be breaking it in, because if you can see in here, that it's already broken in because of the way that it is. So I'm not completely sure on how much this one was used, but it looks like it's in good shape. So I'm just gonna run with it. It doesn't need to be broken in. I'm gonna just clean it up a little bit with some electrical parts cleaner before I throw it in there, and hopefully she works. I figured that take a second now that I got these off to show you. This is the stock end cap that came off of the motor that I just got. If you see, it's got a just like a brass bushing in there that the end of the motor rides on. So I mean, those work fine, but they make these vented end caps that have a bearing in them, so that way it spins a little bit easier, a little bit less friction, I guess. Some people don't like them because with it being vented, it can shoot sparks out easier, you know, and you got a trunk full of batteries and oil and stuff. Could be for a bad time, but I'm gonna use it still. So I cleaned it up a little bit. It's old and beat up, but it's gonna go on the new motor and go in here soon.